Hi, and welcome back to Stop Being Sold. My name is Michelle, and I'm here with Brian. And in this video, we're answering what may very well be the number one question we receive on this channel, and that is, how much do I need to retire? So in this video, Brian and I are going to walk you through step by step on exactly how to calculate how much you need, and if after you walk through the exercise, you need to stash a bit more in your savings, Brian's got some great tips on how to easily increase the amount that you need.
Yeah, when people ask me this, Michelle, I refer them to the steps we're about to go through because everyone's situation is different.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no cookie cut. There's no cookie cutter answer, really.
No, usually when someone says, ask me that question, Michelle, first thing I say is depends.
Depends.
Depends on you. And it's all about you. So calculating the amount you need to retire depends on several different factors, including your desired retirement lifestyle, your current age, your expected retirement age, your life expectancy, inflation rate, and your expected investment returns.
All right, let's get to it then. Walk us through the steps needed to get an estimate.
Yeah, two things real quick. First thing is that these steps help you get a rough estimate.
Yeah.
And secondly, stay to the end because I'm going to run through all these steps and create an example just for you.
Awesome. All right, let's get to it.
Okay, first step's pretty simple. Write down your current age and the age that you want to retire.
Simple.
Okay. Simple. Second step is to estimate your life expectancy. You're like, how do I do that? Well, consider your family history, your health status, and other relevant factors to estimate how long you might live after retirement. And on the Social Security's website, there's a great calculator that will show you the average number of additional years a person can expect to live based only on their sex and date that you actually enter.
All right. So we're going to drop that calculator below in the description for sure. But I just real quick before we move on. So what you're telling me is that it just takes into account your sex and the
date of birth.
Date of birth.
That's it.
Okay.
Yep.
But then
mortality calculations are built in. So
all right, great. All right. What's the third step?
Third step is to determine the type of lifestyle you want to maintain during retirement. This includes your housing, your health care, your travel, your hobbies, and other expenses. You need to write that out and get very clear on it.
So should you also, when you're writing these out, put the cost next to these line items, even if it's just an educated guess?
Yes, that's actually step 4.
Okay.
So good job. Thanks. Once you have the list above, estimate your annual expenses during retirement, including essential costs like your housing, your food, and your health care, including long-term care, as well as any discretionary expenses like your entertainment and travel. If you aren't sure about the cost, go check out a retirement video that we just did on the true cost of retirement.
Yeah, I encourage you to watch it because this one is it covers what a majority of people actually underestimate in retirement. Yeah. And if you don't plan accordingly, especially Brian, you mentioned long-term care, that's a big keyword there. I mean, it'll suck the life out of your retirement savings. So there will be a link in the description and the pinned comment below for that video.
Yep.
Let's move on to step 5 then.
Okay, step 5 is to consider the impact of inflation on your expenses over time. Inflation can erode the purchasing power of your money, so you'll need to adjust your expenses accordingly. Think about this. Something that cost $100 in just 2013, 10 years ago, now would run you $130.97, almost 31% higher in 10 years.
Yeah.
We're going to drop a great inflation calculator in the description below.
Yeah, go check that out for sure, because I think this is one of the key things. That's just for $100. Now take $1 million,
right,
and add 31% to that. It's a lot.
It's astronomical, the numbers. So,
right.
Step 6 is to evaluate your existing savings and investments. Know exactly how much you have saved right now in your 401k, your IRA accounts, as well as any other investments you have earmarked for retirement, like annuities, even.
Okay.
So, and step 7 kind of piggybacks off this. The next step is to basically determine your retirement income sources. Factor in other sources of income during retirement, such as your Social Security benefits, your pension plans, maybe you have rental income. And for your Social Security, you can go to ssa.gov and look up your estimated benefits if you don't know what your estimated Social Security benefits are.
So, Brian, I have a quick question. I know that the definition of retirement is changing.
Right.
And there are people who were like, I'm just going to work 10 hours a week, whatever it is that they want to do. Should they include any type of part-time work they may want to do, or you just leave that out for now?
I would leave that out for now. Go with the true numbers that you know that's going
Right.
to
Okay.
happen,
Okay.
and then use that as any bonus.
Okay. Cool. All right. So the final step is, I'm assuming, to
Calculate the
add it up.
retirement. Yep.
Yeah.
Calculate the retirement amount that's needed. Take all the info that you wrote down and calculate the amount you need to have saved by the time you retire to sustain your desired lifestyle throughout retirement.
All right. So that's pretty straightforward. So walk us through an example.
Okay.
Let's see how this works.
Let's keep this nice and simple. Here's the example. In step one, my age is 55. I want to retire in 10 years at 65 so I can enjoy life. Okay. It's that simple. So in step two, according to the Social Security calculator, my life expectancy is 85 years old. So I'm going to have an estimated 20 years in retirement. Now, I could get clear on my retirement lifestyle I want in step three. And in step four, I'll add it all up. Okay. So my annual expenses, after going through all this, I estimate I'm going to need $60,000 annually in retirement, which is $5,000 a month. And my life expectancy is going to be for 20 years. So that comes up with a total of $1.2 million in expenses in retirement.
Okay.
So for the purpose of this example, I'm skipping step five, which is to take into account inflation. Okay. Let's keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
Step six is to know how much you have saved. The savings I have right now, $450,000.
Okay.
Next, step seven is to know what your retirement income is. My retirement income estimated is $40,000, which is Social Security plus rental income, and multiply that times my 20 years estimated I'm going to live, right?
Sure.
Is $800,000 of retirement income. So for the 20 years that they estimate that I'll survive in retirement, I only have $800,000 plus $450,000 in savings. But I have 1.2 million in estimated expenses based on the lifestyle that I feel I want to live in retirement.
Right.
So in 20 years, I'm only going to have $50,000 left in my savings. So that's why in the next 10 years, from 55 to 65, I would need to accelerate my savings for a longer retirement.
Yeah. And I think the key here, remember everybody, the calculation does not include, this example does not include inflation or Brian living past 85.
Yeah, that's right. I got to make it, right?
It's interesting because when you look at it face value, you just went through the example. I'm like, that's a lot of money. But when you break
Yes.
it down and you subtract it out, and then if we got out an inflation calculator, we might not be breathing.
No, that'd be ridiculous. So, yep.
Right. All right. So, Brian, keeping with the example above, what would you do to increase your retirement income?
Okay, so I got 10 more years from 55 to 65, right? The first thing I do is to make sure that I would max out my contributions, $7,500 each year into my IRA accounts.
Mhm.
Okay. So at a 7% rate of return, that would give me a little over $118,000 more in my savings over the next 10 years, right?
Okay. Yes.
I would also take the $450,000 that I've got currently saved and conservatively at roughly a 4% rate of return. And in 10 years, I could have approximately $665,000.
It's a lot more money.
Yeah, a lot more money. But by just doing these two things, Michelle, I could accumulate an additional $333,000 to help me through my retirement years.
It's amazing. Just little, I mean, just that
Little
maxing out
tweaks.
that IRA at your, because you can for catch-up contributions and
Right.
conservatively investing. So, question for you on that conservatively investing, what does that actually mean?
Well, think about today's interest rate environment. We're seeing 12-month CDs over 5% today. So conservatively investing at a roughly 4%, just in case interest rates do fall back over the next 10 years. I'm just keeping it conservative and always go for the lower number. Give me a nice, safe potential return.
Sure.
I make more than that, it's just a bonus.
Exactly.
And also back to your previous question just a couple minutes ago about the additional income. What if I decide I want to work an extra 10 hours during retirement? That's extra income also,
More.
but I haven't calculated that in yet. So
Okay. All right, this has been really eye-opening. Thank you so much. If you found this content helpful, hit that like button, help us grow this channel, and don't forget to subscribe. And do make sure that you check out the video that we did on the true cost of retirement. It is a real eye-opener, I think. It's going to be in the description below, along with the other resources that we mentioned.
Definitely.
All right, well, thanks to everyone who made it this far, and thanks so much, Brian, for this. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.